Start the record. Welcome, everyone. This is INFINICHI Level 1. I'm calling it Section 3. It's the morning of the second day. So that might help you because I will be labeling the Zoom recordings as Section 3, and that would be the morning of the second day. Let's jump right in and review what's so important is that Shen meditation. Now, I just want to review how good that is for you. Every once in a while, I'll feel my house has been heavy. I don't know, maybe you had a party or there's something happened. Or it's been a while. Sometimes you buy antiques and things, and new energies come in your place. And it's very good to every once in a while fill up your space with good energy, very positive energy. And I fill up the basement if you have it, or the ground underneath. I fill up above on the roof, the attic if you have one. And if you live in an apartment building, it's really nice to fill up the apartment building because people that you're living close to affect you and affect your health, your safety. And so very important to consider that. And to be honest, I had a neighbor that was affecting property values. He wouldn't do anything with his front of his house, and oh my God, and his front yard was overgrown, and he was about three houses away. And that really does, it was kind of an eyesore. People would come over, and here's a pretty nice neighborhood. I mean, pretty nice neighborhood. And then suddenly there's this real eyesore. So I just sent positive energy. And within 2 years, it took a while. Suddenly he starts fixing up, and he has a very lovely front, very creative. It's very artistic front, but I thought, well, I hope I had something to do with that. Instead of getting angry, I just sent positive light to beautify the neighborhood. So your own place, and every once in a while, do the Shen and fill up, the whole space, the closets, a bubble. Sometimes you can open the windows if it's warm enough and see the energy leaving. I would do it in the daytime. There's just some more positive light in the daytime. But if you need to, you can do it at night for sure. It just might wake you up. And because you're channeling a lot of really positive energy. So that's a good thing. The other part is that it's strengthening your immune system. When you're filling up the space you live in, you're actually filling up your body, because that's the space you really live in. So people don't understand that your house, your apartment, your room, some people live on a boat. I have a friend who lives on a boat. That keeping that clean and organized is actually reflective of your body. You're keeping your body clean and organized. And so very important. All right, so let's jump in, and we're going to do the bouncing, brushing, or what you need. Bouncing, we're going to do brushing. And then remember, we do the shaking or whatever you need. Shaking, sometimes people get more vigorous, or we're going to a stretch, do what you need. It's free form. And then we're going to stand in Wuji. We're going to the standing meditation to quiet and regulate our breath. And then we'll go into the Shen, the meditation. So let's get ready. Good. All right, so let's just bounce. I call this warm-up short form. Now, if you just bounced, remember what I said, you're increasing bone density, bone mass, and you're bringing blood to every part of the body. Every part of the body. And if you did this 15 minutes a day, oh my goodness, you'd be so healthy because, think about the stagnation you're breaking up. You're pumping blood into your brain, every organ. Your muscles are getting fresh blood and a little exercise. This is gentle cardio. Your heart's pumping a little better. Now here's conscious shaking or rather bouncing. Conscious bouncing is sending your emotions, your worries into the ground. What are you dealing with, That's it. Whew. sending it into the ground. And you know what you're dealing with, and see if you can send some of it into the ground or all of it. And like I said, we had a Yosan student who was a Tai Chi instructor. His father was a Tai Chi master in Taiwan. And I told him about bouncing and I was embarrassed. He quit doing his Tai Chi and he said, I bounce. Remember I said the story, I bounce a half hour to 45 minutes in front of a healthy tree every morning. And I have triple latte energy until 10 o'clock at night. And he said, is that nice? Because I'm a medical student. He says, my brain gets sharp. So I felt bad that he stopped Tai Chi. He was a Tai Chi instructor. But he said, no. Oh, my goodness. He said, my muscles felt good. I was alert, my intuition. So anyway, don't underrate simple moves like just bouncing. And I like to start very gentle because if I wake up in the morning and do this, any kind of medium shaking seems violent. So I start very gentle. And then when I start to wake up, good. All right, so now we're going to do, it's called shaking or do what you need. So what do you need? You know, I know I only need circles in the waist. And I always like stretching. And I have a little minor arthritis in the hands, so I do extra stuff for the hands. Waking them up. And I have a little thyroid stuff going on, so I like to sweep my thyroid. Send it into the ground. Good. And now we're going to do brushing. Remember, all 12 meridians, we are dredging or squeezing out the energy up and over, down the outside of the body, outside of the legs, and shake the garbage into the ground. Come up the inside of the legs, outside of the torso, hands facing each other, palms, and into the ground. Whew. What an amazing exercise that some sage thousands of years ago came up with that could dredge all 12 meridians. One more time. And I shake it directly out, but if you're in a room with other people or pets and something, then shake it into the ground. But if you're all alone, you can just shake it right out straight. Whew. Good. And now we're going to stand in Wu Ji. Feet forward. Now, some people say my knee hurts if I put my feet forward. Yeah, sometimes people have different shapes of their knee or a little, what they call knock knee or whatever. So if that hurts you, then find your comfortable place. Sit a little. That softens the knees. Tuck your backside in, your buttocks in. And this is very important. Over time, you want to gently lift and seal off the lower part of your body, okay? In the beginning, you tighten, it's too tight, but you can just lift up and you feel everything seal in the bottom of your body there. Lift your shoulders, rotate them back, let them dangle. Chin in slightly. The underside of your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Eyes partially open, glancing downward, and breathe. Now keep that gentle seal closed, because when you breathe down low, contain it, let the chest expand, and exhale a little bit more. You feel so solid when you can contain that deep inhale. Never force it, just keep welcoming more. If you want a more accurate or intensive experience, pull up on the base of the skull into the sky a little bit, and at the same time, pull down with your spine into the ground, gently separating the vertebrae, and then sit a little deeper, which straightens your back a little bit more. And breathe. Now, when you get quiet like this, you become more and more aware of your blockages, sometimes pain or something. So I'm feeling it in my hands. I mentioned a little minor arthritis, so I'm going to shake them a little, open them up a little. Don't be afraid to kind of self-regulate when you're sitting. And remember, lift up gently on the inhale, expand the belly and chest, and exhale a little bit more. That's it. Let the chi be the teacher. Follow the breath in and outside your body there. Can you become an empty vessel? That's a very beautiful saying in the Taoist tradition. Can you become an empty vessel? If this posture hurts you a little bit, shake it out and come back. Sometimes standing meditations can become in the beginning, a love-hate relationship. I'm expressing my experience. Now I love it, but boy, it was difficult in the beginning. Start to feel the breath, start to regulate, welcoming it deeper, containing it, and then exhaling the toxins a little bit more. There's a love affair going on right now. The yang is pouring in and loving you all the way to your lower belly when you inhale. At the same time, the yin of the earth and moon is coming up your legs. You're blending them together in your lower body, and you are making animation. This is the breath of life. You're an alchemist. You're taking the yang from the sky and the yin from the earth and making chi, Christians would call it the Holy Spirit, taking God the Father, who didn't become human, pure yang from the sky, God the Son, Jesus became human. And when you blend the unformed with the formed, you get the chi of life, the animation of life, whatever you call it, whether it's the Holy Spirit or universal chi. So now we're going to go into the Shen meditation. If you had your phone there and you didn't get the Shen meditation that I sent you, you could tape it right now. Otherwise, just email me and I'll send you a version I have. So the Shen meditation, after you stood in the standing meditation called Wuji, is a gentle, loving rain is falling all around you. It's the kind of rain you would want to be in all day. It's the perfect temperature for you. Some of you might like a little cooling rain. Some of you might like a warming rain. It's the kind of rain you put your face up into and just delight in. And it's a mystical rain. It's healing your skin. It's a fountain of youth kind of rain. Regenerating and refreshing everything it touches. Sparkling, cleansing. And it's just pouring everywhere, nonstop in its gentle, continuous flow. The sound of it hitting trees and leaves and the ground and little puddles is just beautiful. The smell of rain is so refreshing, cleansing. And this is a healing mystical rain that can pour into your body, and you realize it's passing through your brain, cleansing your skull, pouring down through your throat, in between and through all organs, and pouring all the way down into your feet, cleansing and repairing. And it just is continually refreshing, sparkling clean in your body, nonstop, until you realize the water has filled up to your ankles. Oh, it's just cleansing your eyes and your jaw, your sinuses just pouring through, cooling your heart a little, and any organs that are on fire, it just cools them and refreshes. The kidneys love the water. It's healing, pouring down until you realize that the water has worked its way halfway to your knees, halfway into your calves, pouring outside and now inside your body. So calming, just so refreshing as it passes through your body, taking heavy emotions, heavy thoughts, just seems to just take them with until the water is up to your knees, still pouring, still refreshing and healing, cooling your eyes, refreshing them, healing, pouring down through your liver, gallbladder, kidney, bladder, intestines, reproductive, until you realize it's halfway up to your hips. Pouring, healing, cooling, nurturing. Oh, the smell of rain, this kind of healing rain is beautiful. And it's so pouring in and outside your body that you realize it's up to your hips. And the weight of your legs starts to sink your feet into the soft mud, 6 inches, a foot, foot and a half, and all the way down to 2 feet. You are so grounded like a tree, and roots come from the bottom of your feet. The water leaves your legs. Roots connect to the center of the earth, and up from the center of the earth comes the yin energy, up your legs, swirling in your lower body, down from the sky, through your head comes the yang. They start to blend together, yin and yang, and 2 ground wires go down the front of your legs into the ground and up and around you into the room or rooms you're going to fill. And that chi starts to build up from your perineum like a cylinder up the center of your body, like your Tai Chi pole, all the way to your crown point. And that starts to spread against your body in all directions. And you lift up your arms, expand like a bubble. And the chi comes up your legs, down from your head, swirls up your spine and out your fingers. You want to stretch your fingers. You're flowing like a river. And now, breathe. Your breath is the motive force. The chi is flowing up your legs, down from the sky, swirling up your spine and out your fingers. Now you can forget that visualization. It's happening. Breathe. Sink into the posture. Now check your posture. A ping pong ball at least under your armpits. No arms against your body. And don't have them stuck out so far that you have to hold them up. Find that comfortable place where you could stand a while. Make sure your fingers aren't pointing each other. That's a different exercise. We want them pointing out. We want them, the chi is filling up the rooms in front and behind you that you want to fill up, or apartment, whatever. And I pulse a little. You'll see me pulsing. That's just me. Some people like to pulse, some people stand quietly. Breathe. Remember, the breath is the motive force. And the 2 ground wires going down the front of your legs are coming up. The extra energy is coming up in front and behind you, also filling the room or rooms you want to fill. Now see if you can get out of the way with a smile in your heart. You realize that 2 of the greatest loving forces in the universe are passing through you. Breathe. They are going to be your assistants in healing yourself and helping others heal themselves. I don't know about you, but it's humbling, right? To have 2 of the greatest forces in the universe safely pass through my body and want to be my assistants, and they really do. You're not sipping chi. I don't want anyone sipping the sky and sipping the earth. No, we've opened up 2 corks to heaven and earth, and they're gushing through us saying, oh boy, we get to help. We get to help heal you and help heal others. This is a love affair. This isn't a chi exercise. These are doorways to pure love. Breathe and let them pass through you. Of course, while they're passing through you, they're healing you as well. How soft can you get? How empty? I'll tell you my secret. I stopped seeing my body, and I just see the energies coming from the sky and the earth, swirling up my spine and out my arms. I try to disappear. Make sure your fingers are pointing forward. Are your hands soft? No stiff hands. I'm seeing us all in the same space, floating together out in the universe, accessing yin and yang, and sending love to everyone in the class. Your arms hate this, shake them out and come back. All right, let's return the chi. We're going to do about 10 of these. Finish the one you're on. And I'll get my chair back here. I'm going to So this is the yin and yang cultivation. So remember, we talked about, I want you to examine your life. I want you to examine your life and ask yourself, have I got a balance of yin and yang cultivation? In other words, meditation. Am I finding time? Now, you can take a walk and it can be a meditation. You can sit and it can be a meditation. You can be painting as long as it's not, stressful. You could be gardening and it's a meditation if you're enjoying it and it's peaceful. These are wonderful meditative expressions. Dr. Mao calls them meditative expressions. It doesn't have to be formal meditation. It can be a walk in the park where it isn't about the dog. Because sometimes you take your dog out and it's all about the dog and where's the dog and I got to keep it away from other dogs. And, no, you take a walk for you and it's gentle and you absorb nature and the trees and all of that. So that's the beauty of a yin expression. Do you take a bath every once in a while, a bubble bath instead of maybe an Epsom salts bubble bath, or instead of a shower? And I'll tell that to students at Yosan Medical School, acupuncture school, and they'll go, a bath? I don't have time for a bath. They don't have time to nurture themselves, okay? So remember, life is an energy checking account. It's a checking account, not a credit card account. It's not an unlimited source. We have to make deposits, okay? And I'm going to tell you, after 22 years at the Cancer Support Center, I would say 75 to 80% of the people that come in with cancer are not making deposits. They are overdrawn. They've either helped their family and worked and cleaned and pets and PTA and jobs and things. And then I'll ask them, do you have any yin in your life? But I ask, are there any deposits? And I would say about 50% of the women who have cancer will say they don't have many deposits. And about 25% start sobbing. Just sobbing, me asking, are there any deposits in your life? And they just start crying. They realize the answer is zero. They might have a husband who's busy or maybe doesn't care as much. They have children that they've weakened by just taking care of everything. They have a job, they're cooking, they're the one cleaning, and they have their account is overdrawn, and that's an illness. Now, what happens? Remember, I said this. What happens when your account is overdrawn too long? That's foreclosure, death. So I have to teach them the yin and yang balance in your life. So I want you to examine your life and say, do I have enough yin? Or sometimes, as I'm getting older, I like more yin. I'm getting yin, yinny. I'm becoming a yinny. And so Dr. Mao said, are you doing cardio? And I thought, cardio. Cardio. I forgot about that, And now I'm walking, I'm on a treadmill, and I'm thinking, God, I used to love yang. I was all yang. I was imbalanced, I was all yang. And so now I'm comfortable, cardio. So I'm building up because I was losing the yang balance. So look at your life, ask yourself, if I got a yin yang balance. Now, of course, sometimes you're going to be imbalanced in your life, but the good thing is you want to really work on it so that every month you say, I'm getting a little out of balance. Maybe I need to get a massage. There's a lot of massage schools, a lot of places, and I've used them in a pinch because sometimes you can't get to a massage therapist or the prices have gotten. So, I mean, even I had to keep raising my prices. And so, massages, but I go to massage schools and I'll take a little while, find someone good. And boy, what a nice deposit, to relax. And there's so many things online, meditation courses. If you're new to meditation, I would check out Olivia Rosewood, and starting in March, ITMI. International Taoist Meditation Institute. You can find it on collegeoftao.org, right up here, collegeoftao.org. And it starts in March. You have Dr. Mao for 8 months, 2.5 hours a month with a master teacher. Oh my God, I took it 3 years in a row, and I can honestly say it changed my life. So you might want to look into that course. It's a Zoom class, and it's amazing. So collegeoftao.org, ITMI, or it's Taoist meditation. There's a link, Taoist meditation. Flow through. You'll see Olivia Rosewood. She has about 4 levels. She used to work with Eckhart Tolle, and she's worked with the Knee family, and she's amazing. And so is Dr. Mao, of course. So why am I going to talk about the sleeping meditation? It really shouldn't be called the sleeping meditation, because as soon as you fall asleep, it stops working. But that's the name they gave it, the sleeping meditation, because you're in the sleeping pose. You're in the sleeping pose. Now, I should actually put this on this side. Yeah, because I want to be laying. So it's in the book. It's in your booklet, the sleeping meditation, and I will share my screen here. Well, I'm not going to. All right, I'm going to go back to this. There we go. Good. All right, I can't do that because I'm on another screen. So I'm going to lie down. And what is the purpose of the sleeping meditation? So you might want to find a place, or just watch me and then do it later when you have time. You could put the computer up and actually go through it, lying on a bed or a couch or the floor if you have a mat. You will need a pillow, maybe a couple. So what's the point of the sleeping meditation? Remember I said that men lose a tremendous amount of energy in sex when they have a release, and women lose a lot of sexual energy. We could call it jing qi, that kind of reproductive energy. They lose a lot every month when they have their cycle, and they lose a big chunk when they give birth, okay? And so I said that what is the fastest way to replenish that? And that would be the sleeping cultivation. It's pretty amazing. Now, it's one of those meditations that in the beginning, it's complicated. It's like, man, there's a lot to think about. I got to breathe and lift up and do that. Just know that everyone who's done this has been frustrated in the beginning. So just, practice it as best you can. And as you get comfortable with it, it becomes second nature. It's a meditation I use a couple times a week when I go to bed. And I know that when I fall asleep, well, it ends, but boy, I got some good chi while I was doing it. So so we're going to lie down, and we're going to put our right hand, you're going to be lying on your right hand. We're going to put our right hand circling our ear so that, like almost the palm of the hand is on the temple. And we're going to lie on our side, and I'm going to arch my back so it's rounded, so that my elbow and nose is aimed at my reproductive areas, okay? So my exhale will be aimed at my reproductive areas, okay? And then I'll show you the posture here. So I'm going to lay down here. Okay. Want to make sure I can be seen. Okay, so I'm going to put a pillow here, and I'm going to put my hand around my ear. I'm going to either bring your leg up, your left leg over, or you could bring both of them up. Some people like to put a pillow in between their knees. That's fine. And here's what we're going to do. You have 3 postures you can use. You can either put your hand right past on your buttocks there with your fingers pointing toward your perineum. Okay, so we are making different energy connections. Or you could put a pillow in front and rest your hand right over your lower dantian. Or you could take your sword finger, this is the sword finger, your 2 fingers, and your thumb grabs your other 2 fingers, okay? And that could be aimed or touching your pubic bone. Okay, just to aim to touching your pubic bone. So many people just find this comfortable. Now, if you find this too constricting to your chest, or sometimes people are, I had a gentleman that was obese, and he had to turn his shoulder back, and that's wonderful. You do not want to be in pain doing this. So as soon as we found his posture, we could turn his shoulder back and aim down. It worked great. So my soft fist is over my lower dantian. And here's the tricky part. I am going to inhale down to my perineum, lower side of my body, and at the same time gently pull up, containing it. Now here's most of the time we don't have a goal. We just breathe down with the breath. I'm going to ask you to aim at the perineum directly. So I'm going to take a breath right down there. Inhale. And when I pull up, I'm going to lift up. Now, this is a little stronger. This is medical, so pardon my use of these words. You're going to lift up in your anus until it closes, okay? And when it closes, everything down there closes. Now, I don't ask you to do this when we're doing the standing meditation because it's too strong. But for this one, we want to contain that deep breath, close the throat or swallow, and exhale from the nose down into the lower body. So I'm going to talk you through that. Inhale all the way down to your perineum and gently pull up. Close the throat and exhale down into your lower body, your reproductive areas. Now, in the beginning, this becomes very rigid. When you really get good at this, your body's very relaxed. And sometimes your breath changes so that you're taking in twice the energy that you started. It's just wonderful when you can do this at a relax. In the beginning, we're thinking and we're trying. But when you start relaxing and doing this, oh my goodness, when you breathe down there, your belly's going to expand like Buddha. So inhale. Close the throat, exhale. So if you can arch and aim a little bit, with your nose down, as long as you're comfortable. All right, I'll go through that again. I just want to stop and answer questions first here, just a second. Good. So I want to go to the sleeping meditation and the sitting cultivation. We need more yin in our life. Remember, I said we need more yin in our life. And so meditation, I gave a promotion for ITMI, but if you took a meditation class on your own, please do so. The ITMI is very rarely do you get a chance to have a master teacher. You might have a good meditation teacher, but Dr. Mao Xingni, his family of 38 generations. When do you get a chance to spend 2.5 hours with that kind of question and answer ability? So I learned so much. So anyway, I want to go through sitting cultivation first, the meditation, because I was lucky enough to be taught by his father, Huacheni, sometimes called Omni. And in the beginning, some of his books say Master Ni, but I think I mentioned to you, he realized in the English language, master isn't a very good word. And in his culture, it meant that he was a master student of life, not a master controlling or, and he said it had lost its meaning because in the West, everyone is calling themselves masters, so it didn't mean anything. So he wanted to be omni, and someone said, "What does omni mean?" And he said, "It means I'm an omelet." So he's just a collection of, he's an omelet. And so he taught a meditation class, and the first thing he said, remember posture. He said it's flexible, but it's your intention, like his son said, it's your intention. So sit on the edge of a chair, or if you have back issues or the edge of the chair doesn't work, scrunch your backside into the crevice of the chair. And then when you straighten up, try to use that crevice as a foundation and not collapsing. Always, if you have bad back, sit any way you can to be comfortable. Okay, so we want to have that intention that we're opening up, we're lifting up, opening up. We always should meditate with our underside of our tongue touching the roof of the palate. And the underside, by scrunching in, the underside's almost collapsed, closed. We want the lower gate closed and the upper gate closed with the tongue. Why? Then the chi circulates all by itself wonderfully. So here's interesting. Hua Ching Ni said, Omni said, put a smile in your heart when you meditate. People said, why a smile? He said, I don't want this to be sacred. I don't want this, for you to make it special, or I don't want you to, he said, this is joyful. This is, you're going to open up and relax. You're going to get in touch with receptivity and the yin of the world and the moon and the earth. And he says, but I want it to be a joyful experience. And too many of you are transferring some of your religious damage to these Taoist exercises, these ancient exercises, like they should be, or now this is when I'm going to do my holy. No, he says, life is holy. Don't make this special. So this is just love. You're going to love your body by being quiet. Now, here's what I say. This is an Ed-ism. In one of his books, he said, the Tao hides behind everything. The Tao hides. That's an interesting word. It's humble. Everything in life, this force. Now, you may give this energy the name of Jesus or Buddha or Lao Tzu. I don't care. But whatever that energy is, it's humble. And it hides behind all of life. It is giving us the gift of life, the trees, the flowers, everything that is form, it's hiding behind it, nurturing it, giving it this experience called life. When I heard the word hiding, I got excited because what echoed in my mind is the Tao, or this life force, is a whisper. And then I understood why we're supposed to be quiet, because the quieter we get, the louder the whisper and the more guidance we get and this life energy. And that, I don't know. So that excited me for me because I finally, I don't know, it made sense to me why your intuition gets stronger when you meditate, why you feel more connected, because you're hearing the whisper. You're hearing the whisper of life. So put a smile in your heart. Get yourself either sitting on the edge or in the crevice, lift up, tongue on the palate. And then he says, give yourself an intention. Well, everyone went crazy. You're not supposed to have an intention when you meditate. And he said, yes, your mind will make one up if you don't give it to it. So your intention should be immeasurable. See, the mind can't grasp that. So say, I'm going to meditate for health this morning. I'm going to meditate for clarity. I'm going to meditate for peace of mind. I'm going to meditate for, I was thinking of meditating for awakening. Get it something that it can't measure. And then the mind will get out of the way. It'll say, oh, that's what we're doing. And then the mind will help you a little bit better. Now, I'm going to give you another thing he talked about, grabbing the tail of the dragon. Okay, that's so interesting. everyone that meditates is going to have be disturbed by thoughts like, oh my God, I forgot I have to pick up my daughter at school today while you're meditating. Well, that's a gift that you have that thought when you've got quiet. So don't fight it like, oh my God, I'm not meditating, I'm thinking of my daughter. No, that's a dragon that passed through your head. So grab its tail and say, good thought. Now, can we come back? I'll take care of that. Can we come back to center? And so just gently pull this thought back into your center and breathe. What happens is, if you're been like me, and I always had to be a good boy, I start beating myself up because I'm not meditating well and I'm thinking about it. He also said that if you're livid with anger, don't meditate, take a walk. Take a walk outdoors. Let the medicine of nature calm you down, because when you walk, your yang step, yin step, you're balancing your body in a walk. He also said, if you're arguing with someone, say, let's argue while we walk. And people have trouble keeping their position when they walk. So my client said this week, oh, I'm meeting my therapist at the park for a walking session. And I said, do you know the wisdom behind that? And she was so surprised. It's hard to hold on to your position while you're walking. And so therapy can be more balancing out in nature, where you're more easily willing to let go of your position and maybe see things differently. So that's what Hua Qing said is, some days you're just too angry to meditate. So what should your meditation be? Balancing your body with a healthy walk. And just let nature, balance you. You'll get better thoughts. You'll calm down. You'll let the steam go. So the other thing, follow your breath. Hand positions. I like to touch my thumb and middle finger. That's calming down. Thumb and middle finger, that's your pericardium. So your heart, you'll be calming. Another position I like is thumb and index finger for clarity, And then sometimes I just interlace my hands over my lower belly. There's a lot of postures, but I find those helpful. I sometimes put a pillow on my lower body under my hands, because my hands, as I relax, fall down. So I put a little pillow, right? I don't have one here. I put a little pillow on my lap and I rest my hands so they stay on my lower dantian there, just beneath my belly button. And I relax. And then there's a wonderful sun and moon posture with the hands. I'm going to stop the share so you can see my hands closer. Okay. Women will put their left hand over their right hand. Their middle finger touches the big knuckle of their ring finger. The underside touches that same spot. So and then the other hand, middle finger, we have two circles, touches the thumb. Now we have two circles, and I rest that. He said that was a secret posture for a long time because it actually balances and strengthens the body. It's called the sun-moon posture, meaning there's a yang and yin. Now, men have a tendency, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I did the male thing and said it. Women put their right hand over their left. Women put their right hand over their left and put the middle finger touching the high knuckle of the ring finger, the underside. Women do that, and then the thumb and middle finger underside. It felt so comfortable. I thought, this doesn't feel right. Yeah. Men usually put the left hand over the right, the double circles. Any questions on that?
It's because you're getting more yin and Ed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm yin Chao. All right.
What you said, Ed, was it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. It's just whether you want to cultivate yin or yang.
Exactly. It's never gender based. It's just like Hua Qing said that someone said, I thought you're supposed to start on the left. Or no, some of these, and he says, well, my mom taught me, and so I learned everything from the feminine postures. And he said I didn't turn out too bad. So these are guidelines, and they're pretty esoteric, meaning they're a little bit better. Wouldn't matter which hand you put on, even. You're doing a lot of good balancing. So let's just sit. All right, let's start over. We're going to either sit on the edge of the chair or scrunch in. We're going to straighten up. Underside of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth. I'm going to take my glasses off. This feels better. Choose your posture with your hands and start to breathe. Follow your breath. If your mind is going crazy, Watching once said, follow your breath. And I have a friend who leaves a pad of paper and a pen when she meditates because she gets wonderful ideas. She doesn't want to make it about that, but she says, I've got to write them down. Then I go back to my meditation. If I don't write them down, they bother my meditation. So that's her style. Follow your breath. Give your mind an intention, clarity, peace of mind, awakening, health. Put a smile in your heart. This is love. This is joyful. This isn't a Chinese exercise. This is love. How soft and receptive can you be? So keep softening those shoulders, the forehead. When tension shows up, see if you can send it into the ground. You have to move a little. It's kind of the body reawakening. Welcome the breath deeper and naturally. Now, I want you to imagine you're at an ocean and the waves, it's that gentle day at the ocean, that gentle day where the waves are very tiny. And when you inhale, I want you to pull in and form a wave. And then when you exhale, see that gentle wave exhaling on the beach and keeps going and going and going until all the air, and then pull back and form another wave. And get your breath in sync with your wave. Okay, return the chi where you're seated.
I think you're muted, Ed.
Welcome back, everybody. And I hope you saw that screensaver that I had here. Just a minute, I will find it again. I'm still looking, sorry. I had it up and somehow I lost it and I don't know why. But so I'll go to Word and just pick it up from there. Nope. All right. So the tree that I had up there, let me find it this way. It's on my desktop, so let me find the tree. Well, I can't find it, so I apologize. I'll find it before. What it basically showed was that think of your body as a tree, and now I've lost everything. Just a second. I had a screensaver up that showed a tree and the beautiful, and I'll find it and put it up before class is over on our break. And it showed that we're connected to the universe like the branches of a tree coming out of our head. But we're also connected like a tree with roots into the earth. And that the trunk of the tree, I like to think of as mankind, womankind, is that we're the trunk and we're between these great forces. We have these connections to the starry heavenly universe, and we can pull in this yang, and then we have these thousands of roots connecting to the earth underneath us, and the trunk is me and you, and we're between heaven and earth. And I always say that we're lost in space. I sometimes feel like a fuse between heaven and earth, and I'm trying to figure out, my life, trying not to get blocked and balance my spirit with my earthly self. And I always look at that tree and I think how tricky it is, to be in the middle, and so I always say, cut yourself some slack and give yourself, understand life is not easy and you have to really pay attention to being kind to yourself. We're actually supposed to fumble, stumble, and grow or not. That's my saying. I used to think life was fumble, stumble, and grow. But then I realized, I think I told you in the last class, I went home one time. I hadn't had breakfast with my parents for 20 years, 30 years. And suddenly because their house was closer to the airport, I slept overnight and I had breakfast, and my parents were having the same argument at breakfast that they had 30 years ago when I was a kid. And my dad was saying, for Christ's sakes, if you keep smoking, you're going to die of lung cancer. And she said, you keep eating that bacon and that butter and the sour cream, you're going to die of a heart attack. And but it wasn't, they were arguing. It wasn't as nice as I'm saying. And it was as if this was the first argument they've ever had. And I was like shocked And then I had to change my saying from fumble, stumble, and grow or not. And then I realized that, it's not their fault. I mean, who knows? They're not, they're from another generation. They didn't know we could heal this, or we have so many more tools available to us. I mean, I'm not judging them, but I had to change it that we can fumble, stumble, and grow or not. And sometimes I chose not to grow for a while. I remember spending 10 years sitting sideways in a door sill. Like, I was comfortable with the room I was in, but I felt I was a healer. But, to tell people you do healing, or I help others heal, it's not me. I just felt I want to stay a massage therapist. I don't want to, God, I'll just rub people and make them feel good. And 10 years. And finally, I took that step forward, and it's wonderful. But I said, it took me 10 years to integrate that, 10 years to build up the courage, 10 years to make that leap. And so that's okay. Everyone's growing at a different level. Everyone's growing at a different level. All right. So let's
I emailed you the tree.
thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen with you here. And here's the tree that we were talking about. There it is. And so I always think of myself as the trunk. And think about it, this is where we get, when we do the Shen meditation, you're
It's
pulling
not
in.
there yet.
What?
The tree is not showing just yet.
I wonder why. It's showing on my screen.
Hmm.
Thank you.
It's
Maybe.
buffering.
Maybe. Well, anyway, I think you got the idea, and I will put it up on the break. So let's go back to the booklet, and good. So I think you can see the booklet now. I'm going to go back to the back of the book. I just want you to, I'm going to scroll through. I hope you don't get too dizzy here. And I want to show you what's in the back of your book. And if you're thinking of taking 2A, level 2A, I really want you to study this. And I might even have a class on this, a free class, because in the future, there's going to be an extra class to level 1, an extra class to level 2A. And so for now, it's free. Later on, that extra class will cost more, but it's important. It's the 5-element assessment and balance. And I want you to start to understand. Remember when we did the 5 cloud? I want you to look at this and start to understand it. So let's look at the lungs. I think that's the first one we're doing here. Yes, the lungs. And I want you to start to understand the energetics of your 5 organ systems. Metal element is is a big part of your immune system. It includes lymphatic, large intestine, colon, skin. Most people don't realize that the lungs are connected to the large intestine, and they relate to your skin. Now, estheticians, facialists, they know this, because they will actually show you your lung meridian and where it ends on your face, and that's where there'll be pimples for teenagers and so forth. And so, just a minute. All right. Good. So I want you to look at this. Remember, I said the circadian clock, that's between 3 and 7. The lungs are 3 to 5, large intestine 5 to 7. Makes kind of sense, doesn't it? That, the large intestine are going to be grumbling for some food around 7. And then 7 to 9 is the stomach. So we start to see large intestine and then the stomach, and that's breakfast time. Okay. So, but here, well, let's look at the lungs. I want you to study this mostly, but if you have a metal imbalance, you're going to have sinus problems, food allergies, weak hair, muscle weakness, night sweats, lung weakness, chronic difficulty with colds and flu, tough skin, high blood pressure, joint problems, spaciness, and constipation or diarrhea. Can go either way because of the large intestine. And emotional clues are sadness, melancholy, because the lungs are grief, sadness, and loneliness, basically. Hypersensitivity, unable to confront issues or people, prolonged grief. So people with metal energy, they tend to prolong their grief. I had a couple of clients who their grief went on to 3 years. And that's, when the grief stays longer, we have to be concerned about it because it can become unhealthy for the person who has the grief. And you feel vulnerable all the time, you feel withdrawn, and you feel blocked from personal growth. Now, some of these overlap, some other organ systems have this, but the main thing about grief, sadness, and loneliness with the metal energy is there's an awful lot of breast cancer right now. I work at the breast cancer support center, a cancer support center, and most of the people coming in have breast cancer, men and women, and 75% of them will immediately say they went through tremendous grief, sadness, or loneliness, a divorce, a breakup, a moving, lost job, death in the family they couldn't get over. And so we have to watch remember what I was taught by, the Knee family was that we have to make sure that we have to make sure that emotions don't stay too long or aren't too strong. I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. Good. I'm recording. Good. I'm going to go back.
So Ed, I have a question.
Sure.
Scalar. So, because, I do grief recovery work. So you're saying that even though the breasts are included in the metal area.
Yes. The lymph glands of the chest, even the bones up there can, the whole lungs, breast, chest, that whole area. Now, it doesn't, remember, there's internal and external cancers. External cancers might not relate to this. In other words, external cancers from coal mining dust, toxicity in the water, there can be external reasons you get cancer. But a lot of the emotional pathogens come from a dis-ease. Now, that's one of the most mystical words you're going to come across. Dis-ease becomes disease. I think, and this is an Edism, remember, from my experience, I think that most cancers, if they're emotional based, are a form of PTSD, meaning some part of your external life was hell. You'll see people coming in and I'll say, was there any stress prior to your getting cancer? And they'll say, oh my God, my job was killing me. I know it was my job. Or it was that abusive relationship. I finally, broke away. And so there's about 3/4 of the people will tell you right away what their dis-ease was. And that kind of showed me that the Chinese really have this, a good diagnosis of some of this. Like I say, there can be external reasons, but the internal ones are like PTSD. And let me explain that to you. We send off these wonderful soldiers to war, young men and women, and we drop them in hell many times. And when they come home, where's the hell? It's inside. It worked their way inside. And so a bad relationship can be a war, external war that worked its way inside. A horrible job can be like a war that worked its way inside. Now, I don't want to minimize PTSD that soldiers do, because that's like PTSD on steroids. But there is a similarity of a dis-ease externally working its way inside to the body. And so that's what a lot of this can help you with diagnosing yourself and others. At least it gives you a clue in what direction. And so let's go to the next element, the water element, the kidneys and urinary bladder. It's also the skeletal, reproductive system, ovaries, testes, endocrine, including the adrenals, pancreas, hormonal functions, hypothalamus, thyroid, pituitary gland, pineal gland, and thymus. This system is most active from 3 to 7 p.m. Urinary bladder from 3 to 5 p.m. So, and the kidneys from 5 to 7 p.m. So when I said 3 to 7 can be a water problem, urinary bladder and kidneys. Now, kidneys, if the whole world that works 9 to 5 gets off at 5 and they feel exhausted, they've drained their adrenals, many have had stressing jobs. When is happy hour? 5 to 7. You see, the whole world is trying to self-medicate. They get off the stressful job, they feel stagnant, and they take alcohol. Now, what does alcohol do? It's an herb. Alcohol is an actual herb, and it can move energy. The trouble is it moves it like fire. It's burning. But boy, does it feel good if you've come from a rotten job, you feel stagnant, you've been sitting all day, you've been arguing on the phone or stressing out, and suddenly then you have a drink and everything flows and you feel, oh, well, like I said, it is an herb and it moves chi. Trouble is it moves it like fire. And then what happens? It builds up fire in the kidneys, and over time you're going to have kidney problems, liver problems, bloodshot eyes, that's liver fire. It opens to the eyes. You're going to be, it puts a fire, so you're going to have headaches in the morning, hangovers. The fire rises to the head, and you're going to get red face. Eventually, the fire starts to show up in your face, and you're reddish. So this is, you know, the Chinese again have this right. So look at this. It doesn't all relate. You know, if you could only have 1 or 2 of them, but they could be a water problem, a kidney problem. Lethargy, reduced eyesight, sugar cravings can be water, can also be another element. Infertility, prostate conditions, osteoporosis, hearing loss, early menopause before 50, poor memory, shortness of breath, low libido, hormonal and menstrual imbalances, weak bones, hair loss, ringing in the ears, and back or the knee weakness or soreness. Diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and lupus may be reflections of water imbalance. I want to talk about this. I lost my spleen around 2000, and I got a ringing in the ears, tinnitus, and I still have it to this day. It's not as bad. But Dr. Mao said, well, you got a weakness, a real big weakness. You died on the operating table. So you're so weak that the ringing in the ears started. And it's very hard to heal that. I'm very lucky. I made a deal with myself that the ringing in the ears would be just, you know, a wonderful background noise, and I wouldn't let it bother me. Only when I talked about it right now did I realize my ringing in the ears. That's how I really have done a good job mentally. Isn't it? Now, if I listen, I go, oh yeah, my ears are ringing. Now, some people commit suicide over the ringing in the ears. I'm just so lucky that it doesn't bother me like that. It's just in the background. I told my body, hey, be in the background. Someone will say to me, my wife will say, do you still have ringing in the ears? And I go, oh yeah, I do. I love that I've made a strong deal with my body that it's just background. You know, it's just background. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And lack of willpower or drive, feeling helpless, complacent, lack of excitement to be alive and wake up in the morning. I have a wonderful saying that I say to myself a lot. I can't wait to wake up in the morning. Now, that isn't always true. I'll be honest. But I remember a day, I think I shared in the other class, I remember when I was young, on a Saturday morning when school was out, Saturday morning, I couldn't wait to wake up in the morning. I lived in Chicago, and it would be spring or summer, and I'd meet my buddy, and we'd do fast pitching with tennis balls against the schoolyard with a yellow square or white square, meaning the strike zone. And our breakfast was 2 chocolate donuts and a Pepsi. And I can't tell you the joy. I didn't even need an alarm clock. The joy of waking up and having the whole place to ourselves, because later on in the day, there'd be 100 kids and they'd be playing and running and bothering you. And we would have that to ourselves, and we'd have 6 tennis balls and be hitting and play. And I remember that. So it's my thought every day. I can't wait to wake up in the morning. So think about some time in your life, maybe going to Disneyland, or someone said you're going to do something, and say, I want to always have that. I can't wait to wake up in the morning. And so that's my goal. Like I say, it doesn't always work, but it's a wonderful goal. And then we're going to look at the liver element, a green liver. This is the wood element. Remember, we talked about how the wood opens to the eyes, the liver, blurred vision, ringing in the ears. Again, like I say, some of these overlap. Dizziness, nausea, migraines, fatigue, distension, restless sleep, stiff arms and legs, constipation or diarrhea. There's a couple of organs that could be related to that. Difficulty remaining calm, possible intolerance for pollutants and chemicals, red eyes, vertigo, muscle spasms, headaches, bad breath, bloating, hernia, chest tightness, sexual dysfunction, uneven energy throughout the day, and difficulty breathing deep and evenly. And the emotional connections, short temper, nervous, passive aggressive, depression or melancholy, irritable, inappropriate outbursts of rage or anger, and inability to cope with stress. Now, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back to the beginning. The first organ we looked at was metal. Metal is winter. Metal is fall. Metal's the fall. So metal is the fall when a lot of flus come up, right? Flus and colds, the metal energy. Good. And the metal is the fall. The water is the winter. The water is the winter. And the wood is the spring, the nervous system, birth. The liver is the first organ to develop in the baby. It's the nervous system. So in the spring, which we're in right now, the birth of spring, spring is coming on. We have to be very careful with our anger, our irritability, because we all are affected by this season. And so you should be eating a lot of greens, bitter greens, kale, Swiss chard. Kale isn't my favorite, so I love Swiss chard, spinach, greens. More you can get, the better, the various wonderful lettuces. But the bitter greens really calm the liver down. Make a green drink, and it'll help you get through the spring energy and help you sleep better. A lot of good things happen when you have those greens all year round, but in the spring, very necessary. And we finished that. Now we're going to go to the fire element. Summer, fire, summer. Fire elements associated with the heart, cardiovascular, pericardium, small intestine, and cerebral. Notice small intestine. Very hard to explain to the West how the heart connects with small intestine. So we don't try, but because it is very esoteric, but very interesting. The system is more active 11 to 3 p.m. and from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Heart from 11 to 1. So the small intestine is the heart is 11 to 1 p.m. Small intestine is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so the heat of the day, basically the heat of the day, 11 to 3 p.m., 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So remember, I told you I'm fire. My personality is fire element. So I do have difficulty in 11 to 1, and that's the time I usually try to take lunch. Like I said, calm down, sit down. I don't try to let the fire get to me. Okay, and just as fire relates to movement, heat, and warmth, so the body depends on this element to provide continuous movement of blood and nutrients. Also, the fire element houses the spirit. Now, this is the spiritual part of this organ. Remember, I said the liver houses the soul. We just talked about the wood element liver. The fire element houses your spirit. Now, there's a difference between your soul and your spirit. Think about it. Your soul is more directly connected to the sky, the heavens. Your spirit is very connected as well, but it's your energetic spirit. It's more of your chi part of your soul. It flows through the body continuously. It's your essential spirit of life. It's a little more involved in the active part of your life. And chest pains, clogged arteries, varicose veins, dizziness, palpitations, sensation down the arms, the left side. Remember, they always say that's very important. Foggy thinking, poor memory, heart attacks, of course, shortness of breath, poor circulation, cannot calm down at night, insomnia, low blood pressure, being mentally not alert or sharp, and other mental dysfunctions. And the emotions are excessive displays of emotion, confusion, hysteria, and anxiety. So hysteria is when there's too much fire, too much fire in your life. And it can cause you to get very hyperactive. So that's the heart, summer. And then we go to the earth element. And this is the transition from summer to fall. And actually, they say that it's Earth is the transition from every element. In other words, there's a period of transition between winter and spring, spring and summer, summer and fall, fall and winter. So they say that it's not just, it used to be called, it's not politically correct to call it Indian summer, but it is that, I call it the twice baked potato season. You've had summer and there's a transition to fall, and it still seems to be baking in California, at least. And so it's the transition between the elements, and that's your earth element. So what are the signs? The earth elements associated with digestive, of course, stomach, spleen, pancreas. The system's most active from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Breakfast. The stomach from 7 to 9, definitely breakfast, and spleen from 9 to 11. Remember, I said I had trouble in my class. I'll never take a class from 9 to 11 again. I get foggy because I don't have a spleen. It's a very weak time for me to be thinking and studying. The earth energy is grounded and stable, as our body requires proper digestion to give us stability by absorbing nutrients and supplying them through our system. Very important to start thinking of digestion as a global organ, meaning students who are studying in medical schools or have an intense study, they are trying to digest information. Start to see that if you have digestive problems, you might want to examine if you're digesting your life very well. Start to think about that, because I can digest my life. I have a saying, it puts a smile in my heart. I say, I can digest everything that life throws at me, one bite at a time, one task at a time. If you're feeling overwhelmed in the earth element, if you are feeling overwhelmed, get it out of your brain and make a list. Now, I'm not good with computer lists because they get lost on my computer. So I get yellow pads. I have them right here. I'm a yellow pad guy. I'll put 5 yellow pads. This part of the year is overwhelming for me. We have the New Year's celebration. I have taxes. I start my classes at the university and I'm teaching these classes. And I also have other things that are going on that I'm working on at the university. So I make 5 pads and I put each, and I get the worries on paper. They become a plan. And then I star the ones that have to be done first. So I call it prioritizing. And as soon as you, because if you don't get them out of your mind, you're walking around with 5 lists and they're just driving you crazy. Put them on one yellow pad, another yellow pad, another yellow pad. And now your mind can relax. You have a plan and they're not rattling around in your brain. I tell you, it works every time. It's the only way I get through these overwhelming periods is I make 3, 4, 5 plans, and then I take them one day at a time. You know, you can't eat the buffet all at once. I tell the story. I went to the Queen Mary in Long Beach for a buffet about 15 years ago. Oh my God, they had 12 tables of food and 12, 15 tables of food, 2 bread tables and 3 dessert tables and 2 or 3 meat tables and side dishes and omelet stations. And I'm looking at all this and I walked around and I realized I needed a plan because, excuse me, it wouldn't work. And that's what I think about life. When we're overwhelmed, there's too many buffet tables. And if we start trying to tackle all at once, you can't eat the whole buffet. You have to come up with a plan and watch your digestion calms down. It's magical. And so try that if you're ever overwhelmed. So some of the other things, diabetes, of course, sugar cravings, heart pounding for earth, shakiness or tremors. Discomfort when eating, acid indigestion, allergies, underweight or overweight, weight disorders, difficulty keeping mental focus and hypoglycemia, and emotional problems, mood swings, melancholy, constant worry or anxiety, and over-intellectualizing. You know what? The number one problem for if you are an earth element is you take care of everybody else but yourself. Remember, I talked about deposits. If you are earth, and Dr. Mao shared with us in class once that there are more earth women on the planet than any other element. Someone said, why is that? And he said, because we need moms. How the world, Mother Nature gave more earth moms because we need moms to keep our species alive. And so, but what is the curse of being a mom? Taking care of everybody else but yourself. And so, and knowing boundaries. Okay. So that's the earth element. That's the transition between each element, especially the transition between summer and fall. And so those are the 5 elements. I'd really like you to get to know them and to start to understand them and look at your own life. Like I say, there's overlaps, but boy, someone will come in if you go on to become a healer, and someone will come in and you'll just say, oh, they have a wood imbalance. You know, it's just so obvious. And if you know some of this, you can it tells you what organ to work on, you know, and so these are all helpful. And we did the earth. So now the following section is the Zhang Fu organ section. And the 12 meridians or 12 channels from TCM theory. I'd like you to familiarize yourself with all 12 and have them memorized if you plan to take 2A. Knowledge of these channels will be an important part in assessing and assisting others to heal. For now, just memorize them and information provided. We will discuss them in level 2A. So I just want to show them. This is where the heart meridian starts. Now, if you go online, you'll see better pictures and things. You'll even find videos of tracing these organs. I would like you to really look at and know these, and we'll go over them briefly, but if you can at least know these 12 channels, this is going to help you into the lung function. Yeah, I'm just going to share the large intestine. I want you to start to look at these And like I say, go online. You can go to acupuncture.com, that Dr. Mao's site, and you can get a bigger picture of it if you want to see it, and start to see where they start, where they go. It might lend some insights into your body aches and pains. And you may not understand them all, but at least you can get an idea of how they function or where they run up your body or down your body. And like I say, we'll go over them. But if you come into the class more knowledgeable of these meridians, boy, is that going to help a lot. Okay. It's going to help a lot. So I'm just going to scroll through. I want you to know that the back of the book is for your self-study. Now, all right, we talked about the 5 organs. I'd like to review the 5 cloud meditation, okay? But let's just stand a bit. We've been sitting, and let's just bounce. We don't have to do the whole warm-up, but let's just bounce. So we're just going to bounce and just wake the body up just a little bit. That's it. Wake the body up. All right, just kind of get some blood flowing. And I apologize. When I set up the lighting, it was dark in here at 6 in the morning, and it was very dark. And as this lighting came up in the windows, my whiteboard really lit up. So Matt and my wife Sue helped me turn the lighting down. So thank you. All right. So again, sit on the edge of the chair or scrunch your backside into the chair so that you can sit up. Choose your hand posture. For this one, I usually pull them back a little because when you have your arms pulled back towards your hips a little with a hand posture, notice how your shoulders sink back and relax. So for 5 clouds, I usually do thumb and middle finger. I like to calm my heart down. I'm fire. But if you want clarity, you could put your thumb and index finger, or you could interlace your fingers in front of your dantian, your lower dantian. But for this one, I always feel good to pull my hands back and breathe. Start to come inward. Go down to the bottom of your feet and breathe through the ball of your foot there, kidney 1, or imagine a cork 1.5 inches on each foot and just breathe. So feel the roots connect to the center of the earth. Feel grounded, safe. And let's come back up to the head and remember that picture. We're connected like a tree with roots going into the sky. Just open up your head to the yang energies of the heavens. Yeah, breathe through it. Just feel that you could breathe through the top of your head, the crown point. Good. Now, feel your body, maybe it's a lot of information this morning. Maybe you're fatigued, tired from last night, wired, or maybe you feel peaceful or tired, whatever. Make that okay. It's just okay to be you today. Good day, bad day, fun day, it just doesn't matter. It's okay to be you. And follow your breath in and out. If you have to move a little, start draining some stiffness. And down from the sky comes a beautiful green liquid light. So sweet a light, so gentle, entering the top of your head, this green light, and flows down to your liver gallbladder system in the left and central part of your body under your right breast into the central part of your body. That's it. Just, you don't have to know anatomy. It's the whole area. And it starts to turn a beautiful green. I start with a dark green, but if a bright green shows up, then maybe you need some energy. Welcome that green love into your liver gallbladder. And the liver gallbladder starts to smile. It's really happy that you're going to strengthen and repair your liver gallbladder. And a soft green cloud starts to form in and even beyond your body like a green lantern in the right and central part of your body. If it were a dark room, your liver gallbladder would be lighting up the room in all directions with its soft green cloud of light. Ah. And if there's any anger or toxins, see if you can just breathe them into the ground. Welcoming in that green love into your liver gallbladder. And exhaling anger, toxins, or both. Ah, pouring out. Can you sense your liver? Is your liver talking to you? Mine is. I had a candy bar last night, and that's something I rarely have. And wow, I forgot how much sugar is in a candy bar. And oof, my liver is letting me know. And the liver's smiling because remember, your liver's a high spirit, your liver gallbladder. The liver houses your soul. Maybe you could make a deal to eat or drink better because all of what you eat and drink has to pass through your liver, and that's where your soul is. And it's so nice. Your liver gallbladder feels so happy that you know it's there, that it's spiritual as well as a processor or a bladder. It likes that you know that you have borrowing an entity from Jupiter. Feel that connection from Jupiter all the way down from the sky into your body. This connection for Jupiter is going to be very important, healing yourself and helping others heal themselves. That huge planet Jupiter is a high spirit. And it is honestly and really asking each of you if you'd like its help in healing your liver, gallbladder, and others. It's so happy to help. That's how humble these beautiful planets are. I don't know about you, but I think that's really neat. That Jupiter is going to be my assistant in helping me let go of my anger, my toxins. And let's let that beautiful green love soak into the whole heart system, in the whole heart system, not just your heart, turning the heart system green. Oh, it feels so good. The heart starts to smile. It loves the support. And what fire doesn't like the support of wood from the heart? The wood, boy, is that fuel for a fire. It feels so supported and loved by the liver helping it. And down from the sky comes a beautiful red or pinkish liquid light pouring into the head and glowing around into the heart, creating a soft red or pinkish cloud of light in the body and even extends beyond the body, lighting up a darkened room with its pink or reddish light in all directions like a lantern. Ah, this is medicine to the heart. Oh, strengthening, repairing. As you exhale trauma and shock, all the surprises, let them go. Accidents, betrayals, breakups, the shock of someone passing away, let it go. Let it go. And the heart is compassionate. It takes on all the emotions. That's where we get that saying, he or she has a heavy heart. Oh, let's let it go. Let's let go of all the emotions stuck in the heart. Oh, pouring out. Feel that medicine from Mars. Imagine that your assistant for the rest of your life is an energetic phone call away, and Mars shows up to help you heal your heart and to help others heal their heart. Wow. And remember, Mars isn't all fire and war. Mars is that sweet inside too, that kiss from a fireplace, that romantic softness in the room, that deep, penetrating, loving warmth that works its way from the skin all the way into your bones. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mars, for being my assistant. And let's take that pink love down to the digestive system on the left and central part of the body. Yes, the stomach, spleen, pancreas, turning yellow from the sky. Down from the sky comes the yellow liquid light entering the head and turning yellow in the digestive system. And digestion must be so big for earthlings that we get two parents. Up from the earth itself is the earth energy, and it pours up our legs into the stomach, spleen, pancreas. So we have Saturn and Earth filling our whole digestive system with a yellow, soft cloud, glowing all around the stomach, spleen, pancreas, and extending even beyond the body, lighting up a darkened room like a lantern in all directions. Feel that connection from both parents, Earth and Saturn, pouring in their love, assisting in digestion and healing, calming the organs down, supporting them. Oh, I can digest my life one day at a time, one task at a time. and send that yellow love. Send that yellow love to all of your digestive system, pushing out worry, overwhelm, overthinking, pushing it out of the body. Inhale all of that beautiful yellow love and exhale worry, overwhelm, overthinking. Ah, pouring out the body. And now let's bring that yellow love up to the lungs, both lungs and breasts and lymph glands, bones up there. Oh, they both love this white love. I mean, this yellow love. And down from the sky comes this beautiful liquid white love from Venus pouring into your lungs and lymph glands and bones and chest. And exhale grief, sadness, loneliness, toxins, dis-ease into the ground. Ah, pouring in, pushing out grief, sadness, loneliness. Inhale courage. And now let's bring that white love all the way down to the kidney, urinary bladder, and the whole lower reproductive area down there. Turning it white. Oh, and the kidney bladder feels so supported, so loved, so strong with this inner support. Ah, and down from the sky comes a deep blue or blue-black, beautiful liquid blue love pouring into the head and down to the kidneys and bladder. Oh, feels so good. Turning everything deep blue. Toxins falling away, tension, fatigue. Feel that deep blue love being assimilated into the lower body. And let go of fear. There's so much of it in the world and in ourselves. Let go of COVID fears and life fears and prosperity fears, relationship fears, all letting go. Inhale courage from the lungs. Exhale fear. Courage is a breath away. Feel your kidney and bladder starting to glow with that deep blue love, getting brighter and brighter. That's it. And bring that blue love back, completing the circle back into the liver, turning the liver that blue. Oh, and what wood element liver doesn't love water? Oh my goodness, we're finally feeling that beautiful circle. 5 different colors, 5 different versions of love. And let's bring them all together like a rainbow in the center of our chest. And we realized they weren't 5 different versions of love. They were one love. And that the only agenda that the 5 planets had was that they wanted us to wake up to who we really are. Breathe. Down from the sky comes a golden light, turning everything from the skull, the arms, the chest, turning everything in your heart center, the rainbow, into golden light. Your legs, arms, toes, fingers, feet. Ah, peace, calm. Let's return the chi. Couple more times. Bite your teeth down gently 9 times. Roll your tongue around your mouth 9 times in each direction. Reverse. Swallow. A golden elixir down to your lower body. Ah. Open your eyes. Tap your legs gently if you need to. And your hands are clean. Inhale that heat from rubbing your palms together into your eyes, and then massage your face. Do that again. And massage your face. Good. Take a sip of water or tea. It grounds you. Oh. Good. So I'm